Salute to all the real ones out there. It's your boy Mike coming at you again with another video. Y'all like the content that I've been dropping? I need you to like, comment, subscribe, and share my videos with anybody you think may benefit from them, alright? Now, real quick before we get into today's topic, I want to apologize to my loyal supporters. There is a reason why you haven't seen me really upload any new videos. You might have seen some music that I uploaded in between as a buffer. But basically, I came down with like a little cold or whatever, and I was under the weather. So I feel like I'm back at the point where I can upload some videos and feel comfortable. You may tell that my nose is still a little congested based on my voice, but I'm feeling a lot better. So yeah, I wanted to get back at it with this high quality content. So that's the reason why you saw me have a brief hiatus. But today's topic is aristocratic allure. Aristocratic allure. All right. So aristocratic, the definition via Collins Dictionary, is notably superior by way of education, ability, wealth, social prestige, appearance, and or conduct. Some synonyms that have to do with aristocratic would be refined, polished, fine, or elegant. And then allure is a strongly attractive or enticing quality. Synonyms would be attractiveness, appeal, or charm. So I really don't feel like there's any drawbacks to you having an aristocratic allure. I think I made a video called Collision with the Higher Self. I feel like this is just an integral part of it. Like trying to develop my code of conduct, which is also another video that I made in the past. It only allows me to move forward in life, and it gives me the ability to kind of lead by example. You see, we're living in a day and age where most people have kind of lost what it really means to be a man, or they're more emulating athletes and rappers and things of that nature, celebrities. But the aristocrats are like the top members of society, and they carry themselves with some type of social grace, and this stuff even gets taught to them from a young age up. Now, I'm not saying you have to walk around and act like a perfect prince or duke of some land, but what I am saying is that me personally, I feel like carrying myself with a little bit more of an aristocratic mindset leads over and translates over to just better results in my life, i.e. people having a higher respect, i.e. me getting different job opportunities based on just how I carry myself, or people coming to me for mentorship and guidance. And since I have so much game to drop, I'm leading from the front, and my conduct is just something that other people strive to have, which it's like each one teach one. The better I get, the more my allure and my mindset improves, and I'm able to physically carry that out, the more it will have a ripple effect around me, and other people will maybe start to not necessarily emulate me, but they will be more self-conscious about how they're acting and how they're carrying themselves. So if you guys look at my thumbnail, you saw I chose Al Pacino when he played Michael Corleone in the Godfather series, all right? So just to give you a quick synopsis on that is Michael Corleone was a fictional character and main protagonist in Mario Puzo's 1969 novel, The Godfather, all right? So it was a trilogy, so there was 3 Godfather films, directed by Francis Ford Coppola, and he was played by Al Pacino, who was twice nominated for Academy Awards for his performance, all right? And Michael in that series was the youngest son of Vito Corleone, who is a Sicilian immigrant who builds a mafia empire. And upon his father's death, Michael succeeds him as the Don of the Corleone crime family. Now the thing is, the reason why I chose Al Pacino when he played this role is because he in that trilogy was the youngest son. So I think there were 4 kids total, and Michael was number 3. So he had 2 older brothers, but based on his conduct, the way he carried himself, the way that he made strategies, and also due to the fact that he was, I want to say, a captain in the Marines who served in the Korean War, his father chose him as the one to take over, the business. So I really felt like that was due to his aristocratic allure, just having the ability to mingle with people and always have like not a air of superiority, but it kind of comes like that. You know what I mean? I'm not out here trying to tell you guys to become narcissists, but what I am saying is that, like, when you look at some of the high members of society, whether it be whatever president you liked or whatever, look at their conduct. How do they walk? How do they sit? How do they talk? How do they address people? How do they speak in large crowds? Like, literally, if you took a log of everything that they said during a speech, it's very tailored, it's eloquent. They utilize long words that you might even have to look up to double check to see if you know the meaning, right? But overall, they have a grace about them, and that gives them power in social settings. So why not have that for yourself and just work on it on the daily to try to have more of an aristocratic allure? So the aristocracy basically represents the best and the brightest within a society, as well as the upper class members economically. I don't necessarily belong to that echelon, nor do I care to ever be, let's say, rubbing elbows with the movers and shakers of society. Like, that's not my end goal. But I do like the idea of becoming the highest version of myself. And by incorporating certain aristocratic values and principles into my own life, I will, by default, like, reach my goals faster. You see what I mean? So I broke it down into like different steps where I feel like I'm becoming more aristocratic. And number one will be appearance. Okay, so notice that in every video, even the ones where I was on quarantine, like I was clean shaven, so that eliminated my facial hair. And then my hair on my head, of course, I didn't have it cut the way I wanted, but it wasn't hair all over the place, you know what I mean? And I wasn't sloppy. So my hair is always going to be well groomed, all right? Posture, I try to always sit upright with my chest out, shoulders back, you know what I mean? And standing tall. Apparel, it doesn't matter what name brand. I'm not talking about designer clothes and all this other bullshit. Like I told you, when y'all saw me the other time when I had the video where I had on that nice shirt, that was just a Hugo Boss shirt that I had that's like 6-7 years old. And the pants that went with it came from Zara. But I keep them ironed, I keep them nice and pressed. They fit me, they match the shirt that I had on. And then I have a nice pair of Italian little sneakers that I rock with it. Then throw on a little Casio watch, a little chain, my wedding ring or whatever, my engagement ring next to it, and it looks like a complete outfit, everything going together, right? Jewelry, I always limit it down to just one watch, as I mentioned, 2 rings tops, maybe a necklace. And if I'm in a flashy mood, I might throw on like 2 earrings and let's say a bracelet. But I usually don't wear like everything all at once. I'm just saying that's my limit to how much jewelry I'll wear. My facial hair is either shaven completely off, or I'm gonna always have it clean lined up. You know what I mean? Well trimmed. Even my body hair, I don't like having just hair all over. I make sure I landscape my shit, or in other words, manscape. And hygiene is just paramount. So that's teeth, ears, hands, feet. You know what I mean? Nose and skin. Just making sure that you're always on point. So that's what I feel is one major and very, very imperative part of maintaining or developing an aristocratic allure. The second thing is speech. All right, now, even when I judge myself in these videos, I know I say and I use filler words, or sometimes I curse. I do that on purpose in a way. I don't want to be just some completely polished individual that never curses, never says a mistake within his speech. It's okay, but I mean, by and large, I try to have an expansive vocabulary, not just taking shortcuts on every single sentence. Limiting slang and excessive profanity, proper enunciation of each word, all right? Smooth flow of communication with natural pauses. Concise thoughts. Now, of course, when I'm making these videos and I have a camera and a timer basically putting that pressure on me, I might seem like I'm speeding through my thoughts, but it's only just so that I can give you everything within a certain time frame. Speak loud enough to be heard, but no louder. I mean, you ever talk to somebody that's just excessively loud, where you kind of like going back a little bit, or you're on the phone with them and then you're looking at your volume and it's already down to like the smallest part, but you still feel like they're being extra loud? That's totally unnecessary. And another thing is I try to avoid verbal diarrhea. This is basically just talking way too much or being excessively wordy, not really getting to the point, but saying a whole like plethora of words. I mean, females do that a lot, I gotta be honest, but like I said, this channel is for young males, you know what I'm saying? If you really want to be more of an aristocrat, you know how to get your point across and be a little bit more concise. All right. Third part of being an aristocrat or developing your aristocratic allure is always address people with respect. You got to give respect in order to receive it right back. You know, and a lot of people actually get this wrong. They think based on their title, they should get the respect. They think that based on their age, they should get the respect. Or based on how much money they have or whatever. No. That's one of the fundamental laws, you know what I'm saying? The way that you address people is the way that they tend to respond to you back. Now, given if you have a position, let's say you're a boss, you have a bunch of employees and all of them are under your jurisdiction. You can act like a total jackass. You can. And people will give you respect, but it will be the bare minimum needed in order for them to keep their job. But if you give them respect and you hold the title, more than likely they're going to go out of their way to always perform to a high standard, and they will enjoy working for you by and large. Carry yourself with grace and class, all right? Like what I see a lot of people do is like they drag their feet. You ever heard that? Like if you just close your eyes, you could tell someone's coming because you hear their feet dragging the whole time. Or people who are moving way too hastily, you know, looking clumsy. Let's say they have bags, they're like dragging it around. It's like, bro, clean that up. You know what I mean? No aristocrat is going to be walking around like that. So, politeness and manners. All right, this kind of goes along with addressing people with respect, but I feel like politeness and manners just go a very, very long way when you think about dealing with other people in the world, you know? I mean, I've seen it countless times. Somebody, you know, one person goes and expects a result and they're coming at the person real reckless, and then another person comes with that common human respect and dignity, addresses that person with yes ma'am or no ma'am, and then you just see a way softer side of the individual. I mean, I used to work as a waiter, and I'll tell you what, like I used to get really, really good tips. I mean, even from people that didn't order a whole lot. There were sometimes the meal might be $27, but the dude leaves a 50. There's even been people who have told me like, hey, you're a really good waiter. I enjoyed your service. And I'm thinking to myself like, damn, you know what I'm saying? He came for the food. And by just me bringing him the food and addressing him correctly, not only am I getting a big tip, but I'm also getting a compliment on my work. And really, that was free. It's free to address someone as ma'am or sir. It's free to tell someone to have a good evening or good morning or good afternoon. It's free to ask someone if where they're sitting is perfect or if they would like to sit over there where there's maybe, you know, access to a window that has a nice view on the lake or whatever. Like, that stuff's free. And if you're able to do that, like have an aristocratic allure about yourself while you do that, you're always going to win. Another thing, that, you know, this is just kind of, it doesn't really have to do with being an aristocrat or anything like that, but it's just imperative to do it. Give firm handshakes and solid eye contact whenever you speak with someone or you meet someone new. It really does something for the psyche for them to feel your firmness. That's a psychological trick, man, and it's very easy. Just squeeze. You know, not trying to break the motherfucker's hand in half. You know what I mean? You ain't trying to, you know what I mean, crack a lobster exoskeleton or anything like that. But Give a nice firm handshake whenever you do shake someone's hand, man. Like, coming like a little wet noodle, man or woman, that's gonna make somebody feel a certain type of way. You know what I mean? Almost like they can't trust you that much. So that's just something easy because it establishes trust. Situational awareness. All right. So, for example, topics that are taboo only remain so when certain ears are listening. So this is what I mean. And this will add to your aristocratic allure, just knowing when and where certain things are allowed to be said. Now, given we live in a world where there's two things happening. One, there's this huge push for everyone to become more politically correct, which basically means that you can't say anything without double, triple, and maybe even quadruple thinking it over out of the fear of fucking offending somebody, which I find to be garbage. I think that there's an agenda within that, because the minute you can't start talking about stuff is when now they can start introducing stuff that otherwise, if you talked about it, wouldn't be introduced. So it's like, I see that there's just an agenda behind that, and we're going to see more crazy stuff come out that we're supposed to just be quiet about and accept the more that people are politically correct. But on the other side, there's this, let's say, push for free speech, regardless of who it offends. So basically, if I'm a black person, I should push for the KKK's right to speak about how much they hate black people, because that's still a right that they have. I don't have to agree. I don't have to support. But KKK should be able to say that they hate black people, just like I should be able to get on and say that I think KKK is full of shit and it's a terrorist organization, even though it's not labeled like that, and this, that, and the third, or whatever I think. You see? Now, situational awareness, though, dictates to you that if you have it, you should be kind of aware of your surroundings. You should be aware of the consequences that'll come if you just rattle off at the mouth about some shit, So case in point, if you're talking with your boy about how you got drunk last night and was messing with some hoes or some bullshit, don't talk about that when your boss or when your mom is standing close by, or, somebody who's real heavy in the church slides down on your conversation. Like, cut that short and maybe change it up real quick. Be a gifted conversationalist. If you're a single dude, this will definitely help you in your dealings with women, but in everywhere in life, everyone likes having somebody interesting to talk to. So you need to know how to lead and or just be in a discussion. All right, adapt to new surroundings. This is going to give you a seamless transition whenever you are in a environment or situation that's new to you. Hold yourself to a higher standard than whatever is present. For example, job requirements, right? You got a new job, they give you need to do this, that, and the third. Make sure you do this, that, and the third, but look to it around and see if there's any other responsibilities that you could take care of as well. And another part about having an aristocratic allure, which you can even see in Michael Corleone. Like I said, he was the only one who went to the military. That gave him an advantage over his brothers. Even if you just see how he stood, how he sat, it kind of came down to this point right here. And I'm not saying he did it, but I'm saying do this for yourself. Lift weights, because this will add to all the other aforementioned points, enhances you mentally, physically, and emotionally. It gives you an edge over actual aristocrats who tend to be more soft because they concentrate on money, prestige, and education than they do on physical strength. All right? That's a very, very key point. And last but not least is self-defense. All right? You know how to defend yourself? Doesn't have to be like you're a black belt in judo, but if you know how to defend yourself, that will give you an advantage over most people in this day and age who are just honestly soft. Fucking soft. They talk a great game. They'll pick up a gun. They'll get, rappers even scream that. You got rappers talking about they'll blow you away, but they can't even bench press their body weight. So that's all I got to say about having an aristocratic allure. Like, comment, subscribe, and holla back.